Have you ever wondered why narcissists can juggle multiple affairs? Like, how do they actually keep the lies straight? You're like, I can't even keep one lie straight. How in the world is he keeping so many lies, so many different conversations, so many things that are happening all at once? You might struggle to understand how someone can actually be so dishonest and why they don't even care about being that manipulative in relationships. Maybe you're curious around like what's actually going on behind narcissism and cheating behavior, because it seems to always match up, right? You normally always see a narcissist cheating. I normally say narcissists always cheat because I believe that's true. However, in whatever level, whatever type, I still believe all narcissists cheat. Like it or not, that's my belief. If you guys are new here, one of the reasons why I believe that is because my name's Ben Taylor and I'm a self-aware narcissist. And I'm a person who cheated on my wife multiple times. Multiple times where I didn't care. I didn't show that affection, a love, attention, respect, loyalty, anything like that. And instead, I went running to other people, justifying it in my mind, making me feel better in the moment, thinking this is it. When in reality, I was just a coward running away from my own issues, my own problems, and not willing to confront me, and instead would run to us everybody else. So in this video, we're going to talk through and we're going to explore some of how narcissists are able to keep the affairs and the lies straight in their head. I'm going to talk through 3 different points and give you a 4th one to actually help make sense the most. Okay? We're going to dive into some of the cognitive, some of the emotional mechanisms that drive this and what's actually happening. Okay, so first thing I want to be able to bring up, just so you understand, is narcissists have this lack of empathy and oftentimes guilt with it. Now, have to be really careful with this because empathy is not necessarily devoid in a narcissist. Most people say they lack empathy, which means they're devoid of it. They have no empathy at all. There's a lot of narcissists that have certain levels of empathy, at least cognitive empathy. They understand, they know. They have to in order to be able to process, manipulate, and emotionally manipulate you in certain situations. There's also this aspect of guilt that a lot of times narcissists lack guilt. There's a piece of that is true, and there's also a piece of that they have the guilt, but it is hidden. It is boxed up and put to the side. Okay? They have the ability to be able to feel these and engage with these, but typically by the time it's already impacted you, it's become an ingrained behavior. It's been something that has happened over and over and over again, so that guilt doesn't last more than for a couple seconds or a microsecond. Like it's quick. It moves really fast. This allows them to engage in dishonest behavior. So like for me, people ask like, did you feel guilty when you were cheating? No, I didn't, which is why I kept doing it. Like I didn't really care. I had to justify it in my mind. Well, my wife isn't giving me what I need. I'm not getting what I want. This person gets me. This person actually understands. Oh, now they don't. Now the next person, they get me. They understand. Like all this cycle back and forth, looking for this version of ideal love that I thought I would find in someone else, not realizing I was the problem that I was taking into every single relationship. So narcissists oftentimes will ignore this piece of empathy, ignore this piece of guilt, and instead switch it around and be motivated by something more, by attention, admiration, and control. Like I was more concerned about being in control of my partner, being in control of the person in my life, getting their attention, making sure that they didn't focus on anyone else, making sure they didn't go anywhere else, making sure that if they went somewhere else, they were thinking about me, making sure it all went back to me. There's a piece of it that you need to understand. A lot of times a narcissist wants to be worshipped. They want you to serve them, to bow down, to worship them and say, oh my gosh, you are the best thing ever. That entitlement, that grandiosity. And this oftentimes will produce this lack of emotional attachment where they don't actually care about you. It's one of the hardest truths you're going to hear me say. So narcissist doesn't care about you. Narcissistic relationship is one-sided. Has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. You need to be able to hear this. If this is the only thing you take from this video, you need to be able to hear this. He does not care about you. But he says he loves me. But he's cheated on you. But he said he cares about me. But he's abused you. But he said, and you keep going off their words forever, for days. But at the end of the day, how is this person actually showing up? I actually had a comment the other day on one of my videos that said it's not as cut and dry as it just being demonstrated. You keep saying demonstrated. And they're like, they could demonstrate the small things of love and then gaslight. And then I had to take a pause and I was like, but how is gaslighting demonstrating honesty? How is it demonstrating love? It still comes back to a simple definition of how this person actually demonstrates on a day-to-day basis. how they actually show up helping you grow, heal, and change. So think of it this way. A narcissist husband, he cheats on his wife with multiple partners. When you confront him, no remorse, no concern for the pain. In the moment, what he's doing doesn't even matter. Like mindset, okay? In the moment, what I was doing doesn't even matter. I'm like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, is that going to affect my wife? Is that going to affect my job? Is that going to affect my friends? Is that going to affect my family? In the moment, no thought about it. Didn't care. All I cared about was what I wanted. And then when it came out, it's not my fault. Has to be her fault. Has to be someone else's fault. We see this happen over and over and over again. Okay, narcissists do this in the relationship and try to minimize like how they actually feel and how they keep everything straight by gaslighting other people, by like emotionally manipulating and visually manipulating another person's perception of reality. Like you start to view, wait, this is what's happening, and they're like, oh, not at all. They lie, deny, deflect in order to make sure that you doubt your memory, your sanity, what you've actually seen. This makes it hard for you to actually uncover the lies. Makes it easier for them to keep the lies straight because you don't have an idea, you don't have a clue about the current reality of what's actually happening. And it allows the narcissist to maintain these affairs without consequence because you can't even see what's going on. We see this happen over and over and over again where narcissists will make sure that you're in a fog, the fear, the obligation, the guilt, that you can't see clearly of what's actually going on. You'll bring something up, he'll come back at you with 10 other things. And while you take the time to defend yourself on 10 other things that are not even true, you'll never get back to the core problem that he was cheating on you to start off with. Don't defend yourself over things that are not true. Okay? Third thing that I want to be able to talk to you about really quick is triangulation. Then we'll get to the fourth thing to kind of tie it all up to help it make sense. Okay? Triangulation uses this to keep the affairs and lies straight as well, okay? This oftentimes introduces a third party in the relationship, okay? Either by creating jealousy or by creating competition. Now, with a lot of times we talk about this of creating like two other people that are supplies, okay? So think of it like the wife and the affair partner. A lot of times we talk about it like this. It doesn't always have to look like that. It can be another family member. It can be another like friend. It could be another coworker. It could be something like that that's actually like keeping you from seeing the truth of the situation. Okay? Like this could be using someone else to provide a validation and emotional support, and it's going to maintain multiple relationships without you expecting anything. Because it's like, well, this person talks to me better. This person acts better this way. This person, oh, did you see this person? And pitting people against each other. Like there's so many different pieces with this. Okay? Sometimes you might have this when he comes back home and he says that, hey, the girl that's at work is just a friend. And then starts spending more time with that coworker. And telling you how much he understands her, how much provides emotional support. And it creates a sense of jealousy and competition in the relationship, and it allows the whole relationship to stay hidden. Okay? Because there's a piece of it that is there that is like, oh, but I want to know more. Oh, but no, I don't want to know more. Like, oh, like I don't want to hear about it. There's so many different nuances to it that sometimes we'll keep it hidden. Sometimes we'll get it confused that you're not able to keep any of the lies straight. All right, one of the last things I want to be able to bring up, the fourth thing before I forget, is compartmentalization. This is something that growing up I knew about, but I didn't know about. Like I didn't know the word. I just knew boxes. I knew I had boxes in my life. I had boxes that would have different emotions, different peoples, different thoughts, different feelings. And I could take them out, I could deal with them, I could box them back up, put them back in the dark recesses of my mind, and I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to even think about it. It was gone. But I had these boxes that a lot of times would make me feel and act a certain way. I could act in those, close them up, and move on to the next thing. Compartmentalization is one of the biggest ways that a narcissist can keep affairs and keep lies straight, because what is actually in one box doesn't affect something that's in the other box. They're not putting liquid in cardboard boxes and having that leak to all the other boxes. They're putting different items in each box. So think of it this way. In this relationship, I am faithful. In this relationship, I love my wife. In this relationship, I'm cheating. In this relationship, I love my affair partner. The hard part is jumping between those two realities, walking out the door and calling up the next person. Like, the hard part is just the switch. Because for a narcissist, once they're in that mode, once they're in here, the other relationship is out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't even exist. It's not even there. Maybe you're at the place where you're trying to understand, like, wait a second, how do I figure this out? Can I actually find out the lies? Do I actually know what's going on? What do I need proof? Like, all these different questions. If you're at that place, I want you to reach out for help. You can go to rawmotivations.com, click on the one-on-ones. We can walk through the scenario, walk through the things that you're seeing, walk through the toxic behaviors, relationship that's happening. Maybe you're at the place where you're like, I just want to learn more. I want to start on my healing journey. Then go to escapetoxicity.com. It's our 7-day challenge for $7 to start working in a community, lifetime access to a community to help you move forward in your healing, understanding about narcissism, how you showed up with reactive abuse, what's going on with guilt, like how do you actually process being with someone that you knew was toxic and you saw these red flags and now you're trying to beat yourself up about it. Understand this, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not hopeless. Reach out for help.